Chapter 11. When Cass awoke in the morning, she was exhausted, as if she really had traveled all night following that bright song. Mom looked even worse than Cass felt. She was sitting in front of the computer, an empty coffee cup beside her, and a nearly empty pot of coffee on the counter. Nonetheless, she smiled brightly when Cass stumbled in. "How long have you been up?" Cass asked. Mom had clearly been typing something as it was on the screen. She caught the word resume at the top of it. Mom ran hands through her hair, yawning. "Just about all night. I wanted to get a resume written so I could take it around places today." Her voice was excited, even though she was tired. "It could make a real difference in getting a good job having a resume. I've never had one before. I was learning all about fonts and things to make it look professional." Cass helped herself to toast and sat down beside Mom. She was trying to listen to Mom, but the dream was still fresh in her head, and she could hear the voice of the mask echoing still in her memory. Mom and her resume almost seemed like a dream, and she dreamed like reality. It had been so detailed, so clear, she could remember the stars glowing around her, feel the despair of the beings in the fog, smell the glorious aromas in the place near the mask. Most of all, she could remember the urgency. The mask was calling to her, and she was desperately following the rope of fire. "Did you sleep okay?" Mom asked her, yawning again and leaning close to the screen. "Nice dreams?" Cass thought about telling Mom about the dream, but that would raise the issue of the mask again, and Cass couldn't bear the thought of seeing Mom's face so discouraged and sad. She had decided she wasn't going to mention it again, not if she could help it. "I don't know," she said awkwardly, biting into her toast. "I don't often remember my dreams either," Mom said, and she clicked print on the screen. The printer growled to life beside them, and Mom's resume came rolling out. "How many should I make, I wonder? Maybe 20? 30? She squeezed Cass's hands. "Things are changing now. I'm going to get a decent job, something with potential. By the end of the day, I'm going to have interviews lined up." "I know," Cass said encouragingly. It was so good to see Mom hopeful. "I forgot to tell you yesterday, Mr. Gregor says if you ever need anything after school, and I'm not here, to go next door. If I'm a little late tonight, he's right there for you." Mom was studying the resume page, looking for typos. "Okay, although I'm old enough to stay on my own." "I know, just if you need something in an emergency." Mom squeezed Cass's hand again, "So you know you weren't alone." When Cass left the house, Deegan stepped out from the maple tree out front. "Hi," Cass said, surprised. "I'm sorry about your mask." He fell into step beside her, and they walked down the dirt driveway to the sidewalk. "Thanks," she said. They walked in silence for a minute. "Are you still hearing it?" he asked. "The music." She struggled for a minute, since saying it out loud made it sound impossible, but Deegan seemed to be no stranger to unusual things. "I dreamt about it last night," she said softly. "It was calling me. I had to follow it." Deegan nodded. She immediately felt better. She wasn't crazy if Deegan believed her. "What happened?" he asked. "Where did you follow it?" Then she told him about everything. The stars, the tunnel, the great snake curling around, the land of mist, the fog, the bridge through the sky, the place of plenty, and finally the wall of stone and grass, where the mask shone out at her, alive and mouthing to her. By the time she was finished, they were almost at school. "I don't even have the mask anymore," Cass said miserably, "but I'm still dreaming about it. I don't know why." "There's a reason. Dreams aren't just dreams. Not for my people." "Who are your people?" Cass asked. "The Cayuga Nation, one of the 5 original nations of the Iroquois Confederacy." He spoke simply, but with pride. "So what do you think the dream is telling me?" Deegan looked at her sideways, under his fringe of hair. "What do you think?" "I don't know." "Really?" Deegan flashed a rare grin at her. "Even I can tell you what the dream means, and it's not my dream." "Okay, so what is it telling me then?" "Where the mask is, of course." Cass laughed out loud. "That's crazy. Mom didn't climb into the sky to pawn it. She took it somewhere here in the city, somewhere she could walk to, since we don't have a car." Deegan let her laugh. When she had stopped, he said, "Dreams talk in codes, in pictures. You have to think hard, meditate on it. The mask is telling you how to find it." He was about to go on, but at that moment, a familiar form came lopping across the playground toward them, red-haired, big, with that fine-featured face. 2 other boys ran behind him. "Here he comes," Deegan said softly, not with fear, more with resignation, and something else, maybe pity. Alice ran right up in front of them so they couldn't go any further. Deegan stood calmly with a neutral expression on his face. Make it home all right last night? Alice asked Deegan. Did she walk you to your door? Sensitive artists need protection. Deegan didn't answer. All the old fears were bubbling up in Cass, but she was tired of it. She had walked alone through a strange land last night, following the mask's battle cry. Alice was nothing compared to that. You must be a sensitive artist then, she said to Alice. He stiffened, like there had just been a loud noise. What are you talking about? She gestured to the boys behind him. You have your protectors too. Alice flushed. They're not my protectors. They just wanted to come. I don't know why they're here. Because you can't handle things on your own, I guess, Cass said, scarcely able to believe the words coming out of her. Alice's face looked stricken. Deegan's hand was on her arm, telling her to stop. Alice said, I don't need any protectors. He waved at the boys. Go on, get out of here. The two boys looked confused for a minute. Then they turned and began walking deliberately away, not looking back. Alice crossed his arms, still standing in front of Deegan and Cass. See? I don't need anyone. Yes, Cass snapped, indignation and fury suddenly flowing through her. I can see you're a perfect bully all on your own. Strange expressions shot across Alice's face. Surprise, even shock. Defiance, misery, confusion. I'm not a bully. Then the bell rang.